Tom Hardy's Splinter Cell movie is reportedly canceled. We just couldn't get it right. Now can Splinter Cell movie producer describe script and budget issues. So I was actually pretty satisfied with with hearing this news. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to be able to see a good Splinter Cell game, but knowing the way that Hollywood is and the way that they handle a lot of these IPs that have great stories that could be told from their original IPs, they probably wouldn't have been able to do it justice. Especially when you get a little bit into the article here, they talk about, how bad they couldn't get like a single script down. They had multiple scripts and stuff like that. And that's never a good sign. If you guys can't really come up with something definitive, then more than likely it would be all over the place. And on top of that, I don't know if I would want Tom Hardy as Sam Fisher. Don't get me wrong, I like Tom Hardy. I think he's a great actor, but when I look at him, I don't really see Sam Fisher. So I feel like that would probably be something a little bit better. I mean, I could be wrong, but if they were to do a little bit like an unknown, someone that might be a little bit older, but that would be willing to kind of take on the role, I feel like that would have worked out a little bit better. But at the end of the day, the movie's not even going to be produced. So that's, as you know, somewhat unfortunate that it is that we're not going to see it on the big screen. At the same time, I am pretty happy because knowing the way that Hollywood is nowadays, it isn't something I feel like they would be able to actually do justice for. So let's go ahead and get into the other little article here that we got. So, a planned Splinter Cell movie starring actor Tom Hardy has been canceled, its producer had suggested. News around the live action movie, first announced in 2012 with Hardy as the protagonist Sam Fisher, has been fairly silent for more than a decade since. And that's one of the things, too. You got to think in 2012, like, Hardy was a lot younger then. That was 12 years ago. And don't get me wrong, I know he's a great actor, but I feel like that would just be too young for Sam Fisher. I feel like that just wouldn't work well. And I know some people can like be like, "Oh, it would have been like a prequel or like Sam Fisher as he becomes the Sam Fisher that we know." I wouldn't want to see that. I would prefer to see Sam Fisher in like the middle of his prime kind of a thing where he's like he is the Sam Fisher that we know, so we will get to see all the badass stuff he's able to do. So, however, speaking to the direct producer Basil Iwanek, who signed on for the Splinter Cell project in 2013, has suggested that it's no longer happening. That movie would have been awesome. Just couldn't get it right. Script wise, budget wise, he said. And that's the thing. If you guys couldn't get the script right and then the budget right, how do you know it was gonna be awesome? I mean, that's how I feel. He said, but it was going to be great. We had a million different versions of it. Again, not a good sign. But it was going to be hardcore and awesome. That's one of the ones that got away, which is really sad. And I don't know. A lot of people in Hollywood will say a lot of stuff to try to hype it up and make it seem like it was going to be so cool. If they couldn't get the script right, then that's never a good sign. And the fact that they couldn't get a decent budget isn't a good sign either. I don't think like a Splinter Cell game would need too high of a budget. Yeah, it could be better if they do have more opportunity to do stuff, but I feel like with Sam Fisher, the character of him being a stealth, kind of Black Ops type of agent thing, I don't think it would be something that you would have to go crazy with the amount of money to tell a good story. As long as you're able to get a good script down with a great story, I feel like that would work so well with that type of movie instead of having to try to come up with a million different versions of what you kind of think you want it to be, especially when you consider the fact that there's so many games in the franchise that you can kind of work off of. So the Splinter Cell series follows veteran 4th echelon agent Sam Fisher as he embarks on the secret missions of the National Security Agency Covert Active Division. Ubisoft is working on a remake of the first Splinter Cell. Yeah, we'll see about that. The stealth action game, which was first released in 2022 as an Xbox exclusive, using its Snowdrop engine, which also powered The Division, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and other titles. So I don't know. I've never played Avatar Frontier of Pandora, so I don't know how that would look. And then I never played The Division, but looking at the game itself and how it played and everything like that, if they do decide to go that route and use that type of engine, I feel like yeah, it'll work out really well if they decided to do a remake. But I know that the whole remake is up in the air. I did a video on that a while back in regards to Ubisoft working on it. And especially knowing the way that Ubisoft is right now, I honestly don't want to see a remake from them. The fact that they're doing so shittily as a company, it's one of those situations where I'd rather just see them either get sold off and have the IP of Splinter Cell go into someone else's hands that actually love and care about it, and then see them kind of take it into a good direction as far as remaking it. Because at this point, I don't think Ubisoft would be able to do it justice, just like I don't think Hollywood would be able to do the movie justice. So the remake will also include a rewritten story designed to appeal to a new generation of players, according to the publisher. And that's the thing. If you're gonna try to appeal to a new generation of players, I don't think it wouldn't have the opportunity to work well. You have a dedicated fan base for the Splinter Cell franchise, and like I said, there's so many games with stories that you can work off of. You don't have to copy the game specifically, but if you can just take a lot of little things here and there from each games that really worked well, go ahead and put that in and then see it go from that point. But again, I don't think Hollywood has the talent right now to be able to do something good like that. So an animated series, Splinter Cell Death Watch, is planned for a release on Netflix. Not much information has been shared on the show yet, which has simply described as coming soon. And that's another thing. I'm really hoping that that series, Splinter Cell Death Watch, is something that's really good. I like the art style they're doing for the look of it and everything like that, because it is an animated show that they're making. I think it is something that looks nice and it has potential, but again, just like, Ubisoft, just like Hollywood, I'm a little bit skeptical with Netflix doing it, because I feel like they're gonna have potential to kind of fuck it up, if I'm being honest. So fingers crossed. I really do hope it is something that works out well and it is a good series. But knowing that it's Netflix, it does leave me a little bit skeptical, especially because it is one of those things where if it does, do really well in the first season, if they do decide to do a second season, they're probably gonna mess that up and kind of ruin what made the first season well. So who knows though? I'll see how it goes. Luckily, it does look good from the trailer that we've seen, and then just knowing that franchise has been so well received for so many years, I feel like they can do it justice if they know what they're doing. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys looking forward to Splinter Cell Death Watch? Do you think if Hollywood would have the potential to actually do a Splinter Cell movie, if they would have the talent and be able to make something good? Personally, I don't think so. At least not in today's day and age. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.